What's up, guy?
Bro,
You good?
I'm tired, man. I've had back-to-back meetings the whole week. Because
Put on your video.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Naona min mo.
idiot.
Shit kunjani lapho?
Hey, bro, work. These guys, bro, I've been like working
Jabu.
days straight, dude. 7 days straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I need to be grateful for all the stuff and the platform that I'm getting to present some of the shit. But yeah, man, it's a fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's up, boys?
Sorry.
Easy, man. Ish. You know, for the week, it's good actually that you're saying work because that's kind of the vibration on my side. And in fact, on that note, the Autilina that's coming in, Utula, he put me on some video, yabo.
Yeah.
This video of this guy, I just admitted him now. This video of this guy who says he was a scholar under Mkhulu Nsingiza. This guy says the whole mismatch of our calendar contributed to that. It's actually the day, the 21st of June is the day when the sun starts.
When you're supposed to die.
Huh?
The day you're supposed to die. Oh, it's like,
the sun starts
is it the winter?
closer to the earth.
It's the winter solstice. It's actually the shortest
That's
day of
word
the
I'm
year.
looking for. What is it?
Yeah. The winter solstice.
Are you okay? Unmute yourself, Tula, and then put your video on. Yeah, it's that when I'm out. And then on the 23rd of September. So from today up until the 23rd of September, the sun is coming close to Earth, yabo. And then on the 23rd of September, it's at the closest. It's closest to Earth, and then it starts moving away again. So yeah, apparently.
So that's the time, as Black people, we're supposed to be having our Christmas and our celebrations.
Yeah.
You know, the time that the sun comes closest to the earth is celebration, and that's supposed to be sowing season.
For sure.
And when moving further away, that's then when we need to start giving praise to that process. Which, okay, you've allowed us fertile land, the rains are supposed to be coming and everything. So now it's the furthest. So we're praying for a good next season and harvest. You know,
sure.
That's the way that I understand that shit. And funny enough, we're talking about the Credo Motor today, fam. Today, and someone was saying to me, well, on some kashe, every Black person front of to us, you know, but not in a sense of
for sure.
I need to know my rituals. I need to know how to channel certain vibrations that are coming from abantu basekhaya, amatonga you know, and basically know that off by heart. Not necessarily with my I'm gonna be on some voodoo, you know. But yeah.
It even goes as far.
If you think about it, if you think about it, that in culture, everything that is done there is pretty much the same. Ngoba, if you look at Catholicism, you look at Christianity, you look at Anglia, whatever those niggas is, they say you get initiated in this way, and now you must give your heart to Christ in this way. You must practice le rituali, you're breaking bread and doing this communion, then you must be baptized. So amasigo akona now, and that's a normalized practice where we don't have that normalized practice. If we try to do that kind of stuff, it's called voodoo.
Lama festivities ga Easter, no Christmas. Tina, we're not supposed to partake in that because we're in the southern hemisphere. The calendar yabantu base northern hemisphere. Ezethu yile ka September ngale kaJune.
Okay.
UJune Christmas yethu. September New Year yethu. So manje basiphambanisela. Basinikeza izinto zase Northern Hemisphere, sise Southern Hemisphere, which is why some of our things is not pumileli, because consciously we are out of alignment. The calendar yethu is based on the equinoxes and the solstices. Meaning the spring equinox, which happens to fall on the 23rd of September, that's the first day of the new year on the southern hemisphere. There's the northern hemisphere, then there's the southern hemisphere. Then in between there's what is called the imaginary line of the equator. Meaning ukuthi makuyi winter ngapha south in the hemisphere isama ngale. So unyaka wethu starts on the spring equinox. On the autumn equinox kula khona ilanga liqhela kithi. Ne? On the spring liyasondela from the latent period of winter. Yikho ngikhuluma ngo-asane hydrogen. Ngoba uqhela kwelanga uqhela komhlaba wethu from the sun limits the amount of hydrogen we get on earth. That's why from March till June everything is dry, because umhlaba is furthest from the sun. Then on the 21st of June, the day of hope, the rebirth of the sun, because it's at its furthest away from the sun, umhlaba wethu. But on that day it makes a U-turn on the line of Cancer or Capricorn. Hits that line of Cancer on the 21st of June. It makes now a return. That period is confirmed by the spring equinox in September, which the sun now self-filling. Proximity. That's why you see everything starts greening. Why? Because the sun is now pumping the hydrogen again on Earth. So that then begins the year. And in December, on the summer solstice, it's closest to Earth. Meaning the sun pumps enough hydrogen for Earth to sustain itself as it moves away from the southern Seliapi to the northern hemisphere. Uma umele samukele hydrogen back on Earth as we did before, mhlanga, whatever. Meaning the whole nation yamukela okubuya kwelanga again. We no longer do that. But sikhapha belungu meba amukela ilanga ngale bona nge-Easter. Sikhapha bona. Lokho kwethu kwango-September since. And those are very important spiritual days for us. These 4 days: spring equinox, autumn equinox, summer solstice, and the winter solstice. These are 4 important days la kumele as a nation we partake.
Sure. If it's a happy Father's Day.
Sure.
Yeah,
You
happy
guys also
Father's
a new
Day,
father.
Mackenzie.
Emoji.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Yazi ngosiyami bethi sandukuzala this
Hey,
dog. So give Father's Day.
sakubongela mfethu.
All the best, my G.
I logged on and I started here.
Sakubongela mfethu.
Ngiyabonga madoda, ngiyabonga. I heard you guys talking about le ndaba leka June ukuthi uqala kwa June or mhla 21 is when the sun makes a trip. Like what uthi bafethu uMahandi just explained now later about the winter solstice and the equinox. I don't know if you guys knew this way back, but I just found this out a few weeks ago. It's crazy how the information ivele to imani hlangana ngesikhathi esisodwa.
I was actually telling the guys that you the one that put me on that WhatsApp that you sent me. With that brother, yeah. You the one that put me on. So Mojo apparently is already in tune with that frequency.
Nah, bro. And I think it's very important sing a culture, bro. You know what I mean? Sing a culture talk. When I was watching that video, Mkhulu Nsingiza. Into eyisho ebalekile ukuthi abantu abamnyama abaningi just not in line. Yabo leyo asiqondene nezinto esizifunayo. Ungathi wena uthanda izinto kodwa uthandaza ngoDecember. Uhamba na Christians uyocelebrate ngo-April. Isikhathi sakho wena uJune up to September. I want that you with my isikhathi to plow and to sow. So hey, I'm glad that you're black about that note, man.
My name is Manyano Rasmeni. I'm based in the Eastern Cape in East London. I'm an organic farmer. How I got onto the land is that I'm a partner on the farm. And as much as I'm a partner on the farm, I specialize on training on how people can be able to work their land and it can become sustainable for them, but using natural methods. How I got started on this piece of land, I just chose a piece of land that was very convenient for what I wanted to do. And then I fenced it and I divided it up for my crop and also for my livestock. And then I set up all my infrastructure. The whole idea is because everybody is on a quest to try and attain land. But if more than 1 million people are looking for land and everybody's looking for 10 hectares, there won't be any land left to do anything. So now I'm trying to illustrate how you can be able to be sustainable and be profitable on 1 hectare of land. But as much as you are sustainable and profitable, you are able to work this land using minimal people. One person would be able to take care of their land most of the time, unless they need to harvest or they need to plant. But basic operations can be performed by 1 or 2 people on the land.
You know, it's so sorry guys. Now I know I'm deviating, but I was actually also speaking to this nigga that came to fell some trees in my yard, and homie was on some lalela man. I don't believe in diets. Afrikaans palettes, old Afrikaans dude. It's like I don't believe in diets. Everything that
dieties.
Yeah, diets. Like I'm a diet. Or would say, oh, now I'm gonna be vegan, or now I'm gonna be pescatarian, or now I'm gonna be vegetarian, or now I'm gonna be this. See, honestly, what you need to look at is your blood type. And your blood type will tell you what kind of food you can consume. I mean, I'm an O blood type, and basically I can eat a kg of steak and go for a 10-kilometer run. But give me 4 slices of white bread. Soon after eating that, I'm out like a light. My wife is an A blood type. So because her blood is less acidic, if she eats a kg of steak, it takes a lot of time for her body to digest it. So that is why now your body crashes after eating that. Where if she chows like 4 slices of white bread, she can go for a run. So basically, what you need to understand is your body type, your blood type, and then say to okay, sharpen up. If my body's pH is like this, or my blood's pH like this is the kind of food I need to be consuming so that my body is able to metabolize it quickly, give me the energy I require to do what I need to do at that time. Because if you don't know and you just keep consuming, that's when isn't it?
There are many people who firmly believe in the health benefits of eat right for your type diet, or otherwise called the blood group diet. According to this diet, there are specific foods that complement each blood type diet. And eating as per your blood type diet can keep you fit and healthy. But is that true? Let's find out.
The blood group diet was created by an American naturopath, Dr. Peter J. D'Adamo. According to him, the food we eat reacts chemically with our blood type. And therefore, following a diet that's in harmony with our blood type will help our body digest food more efficiently, keeping us healthy, energetic, and with a stronger immune system. To get started on this diet, first of all, you need to figure out what is your blood group. Once you figure that out, here's what the blood group diet recommends you should be eating as per your specific blood group. People with blood type O should go for a protein-dense diet, such as lean meat, poultry, fish, certain fruits and veggies while limiting starches and omit grains, beans, legumes, and dairy. This diet is very similar to a paleo diet. For those with a blood type A, it is exactly the opposite. For them, the recommended foods are vegetables, fruits, beans, legumes, and limited fish. They should also avoid meat, wheat, and dairy. Those with blood group type B do best with lamb, mutton, almost all meats except chicken and pork. Dairy, beans, and veggies also suit them, but they should avoid wheat, olives, tomatoes, and corn. Lastly, blood group AB, a relatively newer blood group. People with this blood group can eat many meats, seafood, dairy, beans, grains, and fruit. But they should limit their consumption of kidney beans, lima beans, seeds, corn, beef, and chicken.
Wait. So how do you guys balance your dinner? You and your wife, eh?
Yeah, like I spoke to this guy yesterday. I ain't balancing shit yet, but like I know. my wife is a fantastic cook. She really puts the work in terms of making sure I'm fed, and we more often than not have very nutritious meals. So we try have a starch, try have a veggie. We eat a lot of meats, which is not the best thing, but yeah, we'll get on the meat.
It's funny you say that, Mo. Sorry to interrupt. Yabona student show, yabona le lesson le Mkhulu Nsingiza. Le about Equinox. Ikhuluma le video ya Afro 7 ithema la khona leli liphusha ama principle uZulu mathabo Zulu. Yaqaba yonke leyo movement leyo. Amathema afaks with. Yeah, and the vele so usho. I think to your point, there's a similar perspective of what you're talking about. It's interesting you mentioned it from it's interesting that you mentioned it from how we celebrate winter, summer, how we celebrate summer and winter and summer, so forth. And we're not following our own calendar and how that thing fucks us up. You know what I mean? So what you're saying with that is it's similar to a video Lita said about Lo Mama Lo Kulma a world of a difference. Uche Elliot. Yeah, but I guess where I'm getting at is that we want a pay map. Young child, winter and summer. The map influences how you look at it. Because the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere.
Think about this. This tickles me to death. Which you, I'm sure, saw when you were in school. Now, if you go to a school today, you will see it again. Because this little bit of misinformation is used throughout the United States to teach about the size, the shape, and the location of all the important land masses on the face of the earth. And you know which ones they are. And this is what it looks like when it's hanging on the wall.
That looks very familiar, indeed.
Of course, yeah, it does, doesn't it? Now, you'll notice that there's a Russia and a Russia. There's a China and another China. There's an India and another India. They have to do it that way in order to have the United States in the middle of the map.
Right.
In order to use this map at all, you have to take this piece off here, and put it over here. And now you see the United States is no longer in the middle of the map.
Right.
Now, I did this with a major record company in New York City, I think in 1970. And an older man stood up in the back of the room and said, "Now, Elliot, you've gone too far." I said, "What's your problem?" You can't do that with the map." I said, "Well, actually you can." He said, "No, the United States isn't in the middle of the map anymore." I said, "The United States never was in the middle of the map. You need to realize this depends on how you draw your map." And then I pointed this little fact out to him. South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
Even though it doesn't really look like it.
No, it is. South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
It's crazy.
Now, according to your social studies teachers, what is the equator? Halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole on this map would be right about here.
Right.
And that means that Iowa has a semi-tropical climate. Well, you've been in Minnesota in the wintertime.
I've been in Iowa too. It's definitely
You know that it doesn't have a tropical climate. So you have to then introduce a real version of the map of the world. That's what this is doing.
That's very good.
The Peters projection map. The sizes on this map are right. The shapes are distorted.
Wow.
Look at Greenland on this map. Right there. See it?
Yeah, it's really tiny.
See how small that is?
Right.
Look at it on the Mercator projection.
So why do they do that? I don't understand.
Why? Because the Pope commissioned Mercator to make a map that shows the spread of Christianity. So all the countries in which there are predominantly white people are larger than those in the southern part of the world, halfway between the North Pole and South Pole.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have children going to school and they're seeing this map,
Right.
they're seeing a distortion
Yeah.
of size, of shape, of location, of importance. If they're looking at this map, they're seeing a distorted, shape distorted, but size and location and importance makes sense. This makes no sense.
Right.
On that map, Alaska is bigger than Mexico. On this map, Mexico is bigger than Alaska. And look at Canada on this map. Look at that thing. That much is the map. Look at Canada on a properly constructed map.
Yeah.
Do you think that's important?
It's like a world of difference, actually.
A world of difference. That's a good thought. Look at there. Look at South America and compare it to Greenland on this map.
Right. It's almost like we're teaching kids that we're bigger, we're better.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. That's exactly what this map is supposed to do.
Right.
What we have in this country and call education is indoctrination.
Mm-hmm.
We start at 3. We used to start at 5.
But now coming back to your food point, do you know Dr. Sebi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So what Dr. Sebi talks of is Africans have what we call an alkaline diet.
Sure.
So when it comes to food, we're not supposed to eat meat. We're not supposed to eat starch. The kind of diet, 90% of the food we're eating is not for us. To your point, he's saying, you made a simple example, it's like food is energy. It's electrifying. Yes. Why would you eat and be tired? You know what I mean? And he says that's where disease comes from. So he's like, look at blood, circulation. He's like, if you eat another animal's blood, it creates utaga. It's unlike water. Your blood doesn't flow. You know, blood flow like how I would take work.
Because inyama is dead food. It's because inyama is dead food.
Exactly. It's dead cells. So it becomes cloggy, it becomes mucus. There's no disease. There's no sickness. There's no cancer. There's only mucus. There's only one sickness. And that sickness is caused by what we eat. So what he says is, if you don't eat an electric diet, that guy is the only person to have cured AIDS. Look this guy up. A bad motherfucker. In fact,
only want to prove it in court, but back on I
prove more than 10 times.
Wait, no. Do you know what happened? Yeah. They were like, hey, yo, the FDR, the Food Drug Administration said, dude, take this ad down. You can't be telling people you can cure AIDS. The nigga was like, I indict me. They took him to court. They're like, show us 10 people.
Monsanto. Sorry, just go have a good read about Monsanto. That's all I just
exactly. Monsanto. Yeah, I said, Monsanto, what we did now? Similar things. Those food producers, those are part of that vaccine scheme trying to kill people and all of that shit.
So I understood that the state were unprepared to defend itself. Mm-hmm. They were unprepared because in the past there was 2,000 781 cases that came before the Supreme Court and lost.
Yeah.
I won.
Yeah.
Not only did I prove scientifically, but I had the diagnostic sheets, and I do have them today. And those diagnostic sheets didn't come from me. They came from their school, their American accredited, medical accredited school.
Did I read it correctly where there was some requirement for you to actually bring patients, a patient into court from each of those maladies, and that you brought multiple patients in court who, one, testified themselves, and that you had medical records, one showing that they were victims of the disease, and then showing that it had been cured by one doctor, and then a second doctor verifying what the first doctor had said?
Yes. We have to remember this, that whenever you make a statement that goes against the grain, you better be prepared. You better be prepared. The judge said that I had to bring one of every patient that I had cured, and there was one that said others. The others was a man that came from Italy. He was paralyzed. But I was supposed to take 9. I took 77.
You took 77 patients in court with you?
That's correct.
I think what ultimately we're saying is with Ikaul, we've so been miseducated about Ikaul. Kaul heals. Kaul is heard. Kaul influences how we are. In fact, Chaban Bagdala never ate 3 meals a day. All of that thing is for commercial purposes. People could eat 1 meal, you know what I mean? Usuti. You know what I mean?
And now people are on some intermittent fasting. Like,
anything to add to what you're saying is, yes, we're supposed to be, we come from a place of the alkaline diet. And now boogies in the zesosiko nani yabo. Ukuhlinza yabo leyo nto. Mazohlinza imbuzi noma isilwane inkomo into ethize. Kwangayona into ozofika uyenze mesidliwa zonke izinsuku. Or mhlambe
once a month.
Ngathi yabo ngaleso sikhathi yabo, so kuyahlonishwa ukuthi sidla inyama ngalesikhathi esithize. Yabo leyo nto. Hayi uthi manje uvula ifridge emini nasekuseni uvuka ngenyama yezulu ebusuku uphinde udle. Yabo yonke leyo nto. So it's about balance and self-discipline as well.
Yeah.
What's
good, world, and welcome to Motivational Monday. And today I kind of wanted to share with you one of the books that kind of helped me on my journey, whether it's mental, physical, and all around good person, all around good being. One of those books that helped me along my journey. When I say journey, as I'm still along the journey, I haven't reached my destination yet, so I'm still on my journey. But one of those books that kind of helped me along my journey is How to Eat to Live by Dr. Elijah Muhammad. The most important things that I gathered from this book is how to eat 1 meal a day. Now you're looking at 1 meal a day like there's no way I can just eat 1 meal a day. I ate 1 meal a day for about a month, good month and a half. The first 2 weeks was terrible. I was weak, but as I continued to do it, I gained strength. And in that strength, it allowed me to strengthen my mental, strengthen my physical, lose weight, and overall discipline myself. So I really, really, really appreciate this book. I would recommend reading this book. This book kind of teaches you what to eat, how to eat, and what types of foods to eat and what type of foods to stay away from.
If like this kind of like, because Nyani's with this about these FDA's, Food and Drug Associations.
Give me 1 second, I just need to take.
Okay, sure. If they already like sort of attacking us in our biology or in our physiology, where then does our fight really start, against oppression?
And knowing these things at this.
Sure.
I think knowing these things and not being misinformed, and knowing that in a world where they like prescribing what works, we're not all the same. And I think if you know Jordan Peterson speaks about this a lot. Like, in a world where we're so politically correct, we sometimes forget the difference is good. You know what I mean? Sometimes there has to be boundaries. Yeah, this is one. Why? Yeah, this formula and jalo. We're different and we wire differently and we respond differently.